Cherie Hansen here, continuing on reading to you from The Art of Communicating by Thich Nhat Hanh as we step back into the world, a very changing world, a very transitional world. He teaches us some skills when we are face to face with others and how to navigate in a way that reduces suffering for both ourselves and those that we are face to face with. I invite you to come on and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Sorry, it is 47 degrees out here, so it's a little dry in my throat. We're looking now at his chapter, which he completes the book with, which is Practices for Compassionate Communication. And what he offers us in this chapter is decades worth of practices, of skills, of methodologies that help when we are in a conversation with another person. He has his Plum Village meditation retreat center that has hosted many, many people who are having difficulties with life. And he has come to understand what methods work the best. This part is called Peace Treaties and Peace Notes. The Peace Treaty and the Peace Note are two tools to help us heal anger and hurt in our relationships. The peace treaty can be used as a preventative tool before we utter or are hurt by words or actions that seem unkind. When we sign the peace treaty, we are making peace not just with the other person, but within ourselves. The peace note can be used as a healing tool when we are hurt or angry because of something someone has said or done. You can copy it and keep blank copies available wherever you need them. You can use it in place of the fourth mantra note that you keep in your wallet. If someone does something that brings us suffering, we can say, "What you just said hurt me. I would like to look deeply into it. And I would like you to also look deeply into it. Let's make an appointment for some time later in the week to look at it together." One person looking at the roots of our suffering is good. Two people looking is better. And two people looking together is best. Both the treaty and the note suggest waiting a few days for discussion. You can pick any night. First, you are still hurt, and it may be too risky to begin discussing it now. You might say things that will make the situation worse. From now until the evening, you can practice looking deeply into the nature of your suffering, and the other person can too. Before that night, one or both of you may see the root of the problem and be able to tell the other and apologize. Then on that night, you can have a cup of tea together and enjoy each other. If by that evening the suffering has not been transformed, one person begins by expressing himself while the other person listens deeply. When you speak, you tell the deepest kind of truth using loving speech. The kind of speech the other person can understand and accept. While listening, you know that your listening must be of good quality to relieve the other person of his suffering. If you can, have the discussion be on a Friday evening or early on a Saturday so you still have the weekend to enjoy being together. Peace treaty. In order that we may live long and happily together, in order that we may continually develop and deepen our love and understanding, we, the undersigned, vow to observe and practice the following. I, the one who is angry, agree to, number one, refrain from saying or doing anything that might cause further damage or escalate the anger. Number 2, not express my anger. Number 3, practice breathing and take refuge in the island of myself. Number 4, calmly within 24 hours, tell the one who has made me angry about my anger and suffering, either verbally or by delivering a peace note. Number 5, ask for an appointment for later in the week, for instance, Friday evening, to discuss the matter more thoroughly, either verbally or by peace note. Number 6, not say, I am not angry. It's okay. I am not suffering. There is nothing to be angry about, at least not enough to make me angry. Practice breathing and looking deeply into my daily life while sitting, lying down, standing, and walking to see A, the ways I have been unskillful at times. B, how I have hurt the other person because of my habit energy. C, how the strong seed of anger in me is the primary cause of my anger. D, how the other person's suffering, which waters the seed of my anger, is the secondary cause. E, how the other person is only seeking relief from his or her own suffering. F, that as long as the other person suffers, I cannot be truly happy. Number 8, apologize immediately without waiting until our appointment as soon as I realize my unskillfulness and lack of mindfulness. 9, postpone the meeting if I do not feel calm enough to meet with the other person. I, the person who has made the other angry, agree to 1, respect the other person's feelings, not ridicule him or her, and allow enough time for him or her to calm down. 2, not press for an immediate decision. 3, confirm the other person's request for a meeting either verbally or by note and assure him or her that I will be there. 4, practice breathing and taking refuge in the island of myself to see how A, I have the seeds of unkindness and anger as well as habit energy to make the other person unhappy. B, I have mistakenly thought that making the other person suffer would relieve my own suffering. C, by making him or her suffer, I make myself suffer. 5, apologize as soon as I realize my unskillfulness and lack of mindfulness without making any attempt to justify myself and without waiting until the meeting. We vow to abide by these articles and to practice wholeheartedly. And then both of you sign and date it. And that is a wonderful way to go about addressing a misunderstanding or addressing a triggering situation, is set up the rules before you go in so that you're constantly watching your own mind, your own body, your own reactions, and taking responsibility for them. If we were all skilled in the way to communicate, which isn't blaming, which is not triggered, which is not defensive, we would all be in a place where we could enjoy one another so much more and just be in a place of compassion and peace with one another. And that lowers the suffering for the entire world. I would like to encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube video. Also, I do life coaching, which brings to it my study for decades about how the brain works, how family imprinting is in us, about our inherited traumas. And also, I have a very clear channel which can help me see and understand what what the incident is that is causing you difficulty at the present time. Get a hold of me and we can set up an hour consultation, and you and I together can draw up a life plan to get our beautiful, strong spirits out in the world doing what we're meant to do. Thank you.